I turned to the inn of the newcomers and sat for a moment in my room. Thoughts and doubts began swirling in my head. Am I doing the right thing? Frank loved me, and I'm moving away from him through a maneuver. That's bad juju. I got up to make myself a cup of mint tea. Ugh, no, it's okay to leave. I don't owe Frank anything. I took a long swig of hot tea and started pacing the room. Okay, I get it. What am I doing? I'm spending a lot of energy justifying a parting with someone I shared a lot of energy with and time with, but I don't want to involve him in my decision. I don't want him to come with me. Yes, that's what I'm doing. I sat down again and hugged my hot tea. Oh, God, it's so bad. I guess I can leave him a note that explains my feelings. I just wish he or we had more moderation in sharing ourselves. Yeah, that's what would have made the difference. Maybe I can't help but feel that there's someone else out there waiting for me. Like a long time spirit partner? Maybe with the same destiny? Or maybe I'm just fishing for someone to help call in the light. Oh, no. Frank could do all those things. He loved the garden too, and he and I could amplify the light, and we made a pairing. Maybe it's simpler than that. Maybe I'm just running scared. I went outside and jumped in the pool and swam around underwater for a while. It was a good decision. The pool always brought me back to myself. Finally, I surfaced, floating in my angel position. I'm not running scared. It's not a good match. I don't know why, but for once, I'm going to listen to my intuition and let go. I sighed a deep breath and felt a large weight lifted from my chest. I knew I made the right decision. I floated in the pool until I felt like I had regenerated myself from my tussle with doubt and returned to my room. I got myself as ready as I could, which wasn't much anymore. I had on my suit and I put on my new gold robe, grabbed some food and water to put in my backpack along with the clothes I arrived in. Gwen was in the lobby. Hi, I've drawn up some maps that will help you. If I had known the last time you went in the forest, I would have shown you where to go on one of these maps I've made. I smiled in amazement when I saw all the maps Gwen had. You've been all through the forest, haven't you? Of course. I've been here a very long time, long enough to see the outer world change considerably. I nodded. I grabbed a map that looked similar to Fair City. What's this place? Gwen helped me hold it up. I wanted to talk with you about this place. It's another one of the many towns out there like Fair City that's not far from here. I think this place might be your destination. I looked at Gwen. How so? Well, I thought about what you were saying, and I realized how long it had been since anyone from here had ventured into the deep woods. Going in and coming back takes quite a lot out of a person, so no one wants to do it. And you think that instead of coming back, I might go on to this other town? Yes, people don't want to do it because they want to come back home to Fair City. But maybe you'd like to go on to Bright Town. Actually, all the towns in the forest are pretty close together. They're within less than a day's walk. Have you ever been there? I was there once a long time ago, and I've been to the next town after it, Enchantment. I think it's called Crystal Village now. Enchantment? Wow, what's that place like? It has a nice name. You'll find that all the towns and cities are nice to be in. They are all full of light workers, just like in Fair City. So there's nothing to fear or concern yourself with. I imagine as the world lightens up, we will all freely travel back and forth to many places that are now too dark to see. She rolled up the maps and took my hand. Every time a bright walks into the dark, we enlighten. There is a memory of energy and light left where we've traveled. Like a trail? I asked. Like a path that says, "This way, my love. It's this way." Gwen reached under the maps to give me some paper and a pencil. These maps have to stay in Fair City, but you can copy the symbols and directions so you can compile your own set of maps. I have a feeling you will be traveling from town to town. I love to travel, so I think you're probably right about that. Tell me more about the energy path in the dark. Well, whenever a light worker or an enlightened person goes anywhere, they leave behind an energy signature. This energy continues to work the darkness by lighting it. People who pass near it or in it become a little more buoyant, and for a moment in time, they're able to shrug off their fears and worries. That was supposed to be the task of the religions, to enlighten the masses. But we all know that didn't work out. I nodded as I got up to walk around a bit. Gwen continued, "A bright, moving through the dark, creates a moment of clarity. And at this moment, animals and people are able to track the light." Okay, so how do I keep my light shining in the darkest dark, Gwen? She looked at me and summoned her own light. She was so beautiful to look at. It was a fantastic kaleidoscope of color. Well, that's where your intuition is your guide. You already have this gift. Do you remember what the people said when they spoke about leaving the forest? Not exactly. They all talked about seeing the blue sky. Every one of them ran toward what they thought was the edge of the forest. Oh, that. But Gwen, they also said they saw the sun. Yes, the sky has both yellow and blue lights. You are already gifted with a beautiful, bright light of your own, and your intuition will let you know what to do and when to do it. You told me you were being called to go into the forest again. I know you had Frank last time, but I suspect he actually drained more energy than he gave. Oh, I sighed and leaned back into the bench. Ugh, yeah, I didn't think about it that way, but that's exactly what happened. A lot of my energy went toward quelling his fear. I think that's what spurred me to go it alone. You know, there are plenty of people, brights in Fair City, that would gladly go with you, and they wouldn't be a drain on your energy. You're probably right, but I just don't want any company. I think I'm jaded. I was totally into Frank until he became possessive, but I'll be okay. I know I can do it now, Gwen. I feel it. It's the right thing for me to do. She stood up as I tucked my map into my backpack. I followed her out of the inn. Gwen gave me a long hug goodbye and gave me some last words of advice. Stop for a moment at each symbol and imagine yourself as the gold that you see in the symbol. It will energize you quickly. Thank you for everything, Gwen. I gave one last wave, turned to pass through the gates for the 4th time, and headed up the hill, leaving the brightness of Fair City behind me.